Hi there, Mark Jabin here, Medical Director for the Haywood County Health Department. And let's talk about this pandemic. In this video, let's talk about an update on vaccines. And we're going to also review the safety data. So please share this with someone you care about. So here's the real question. There's risk of getting infected and really sick, and there's risk of a side effect from the vaccine. There's risk either way. The question is, which risk is greater? Is there benefit enough to outweigh the risk in favor of getting the vaccine versus not getting the vaccine? So let's review the numbers. The Pfizer vaccine, which received emergency use authorization last week, had a trial of 40,000 plus participants. Out of those, 170 people got sick with COVID. Only 8 of those were in the vaccine group. So that represents a 95% opportunity not to get sick if vaccinated and then exposed. What about reactions? There was 1 severe reaction in the vaccine group, 9 in the placebo group. So if half of the participants were in each group, that's 1 out of roughly 20,000 or 0.05%. Now there were some moderate reactions like fever, aches, fatigue that lasted roughly 12 to 36 hours after injection in around 4%. What about the Moderna vaccine? This is the second vaccine that will likely get EUA this week. Out of 30,000 participants, 196 people got infected. 185 in the placebo group and 11 in the vaccine group. That's a 94.4% benefit. There were no severe reactions in the vaccine group, 11 in the placebo group. And participants were across all ages, races, and ethnic groups. In fact, 25% were over the age of 65. So if we take 100 people who get exposed and might get sick, if vaccinated, only 5 would get sick. Without the vaccine, 95 would. The vaccine prevented 95% of these infections. Out of 20,000 who get vaccinated, 1 person would have the kind of severe reaction we all worry about. That's a 0.05% risk. So if a person gets the vaccine, that's a 94-95% chance for benefit and a 0.05% risk of severe harm. So balance that risk against the risk of getting COVID with a mortality rate here in Haywood County of 3.5%. Yes, so far all people older than 60, but hey, a lot of us are older than 60. And are those lives any less meaningful or valuable? And don't underestimate the toll of surviving a long ICU stay or time on a ventilator, or the risk of becoming a long hauler, with ongoing symptoms. Not to mention the disruption to your work and life of getting ill, the chance you give it to someone who is high risk and really can't afford to get it. Right now in Haywood County, if you get together in a group of 10, you have a 22% chance, roughly 1 out of 5 chance, that someone in that group is pre-symptomatic, infected, contagious, without symptoms, and a risk to you. So a vaccine did not prevent all infections, but balancing the risk of side effects versus getting sick or getting someone else sick, where do you like your chances? There are many among us who are skeptical because of how fast this has all rolled out. Well, consider this. Although this is the first vaccine to use the mRNA or messenger RNA platform, this is actually not new technology. It has been studied and used for over 10 years primarily in chemotherapy applications. Usually, medication development follows a stepwise progression. Development, then testing, then manufacturing, then distribution. In this case, many of these steps happened at the same time. The financial risk of manufacturing something without knowing if it works was made possible by federal government support. And how about this? There are panels of people, independent of the drug companies, reviewing this data. Reactions and results have been transparently reported. We should be happy that they're reporting those issues with the vaccines. And the FDA advisory meeting was even televised, so you could hear it for yourself. So yes, in an ideal world, it would be better if we had a longer period of time to assess safety, especially for the severe reactions. But it would also be better for fewer of us to get sick, fewer of us being a risk to those who can't afford to get sick, and fewer of us suffering and dying. So make your best judgment. Balance the risk of harm from the vaccine against the risk of harm from getting COVID against the chance for benefit. So be well and be careful, especially right now.